This video is for beginners who are on the verge of becoming intermediate. You know, the guys that go out 2 or 3 times a week, you've seen all the YouTube videos, you've read the books, you know the concepts, tricks and principles, but when you're going out, the shots aren't really happening. It's nothing to do with the gear, nothing to do with the settings, not even your eye. And I'm going to tell you exactly what it is after this intro. So I'm going to tell you straight away what is it. It's your performance. And what do I mean by performance? It's basically when you're going out in your street photo walks, how are you feeling? How's your motivation? How's your discipline? How is your mindset? How are you dealing with people when people react to you? How do you get over it? It's the actual overall performance. Think of street photography like a sport and not like a hobby. And if you start seeing it like a sport, you see what I mean. You got to think like an athlete. To get those good shots, you have to be performing well. So how is performance affecting your pictures? I'll tell you exactly how. So when you're going out, you might feel a bit insecure or scared to get a bit closer, knowing that if you did get closer, that's the actual better shot. Another one is like you may be walking and someone just gives you an awkward look. That's all it is, an awkward look. And then you take that into your head, you get self-conscious again and you think, oh shit, nah, something's wrong. And you think more about like your insecurities rather than the picture. So this is why I'm telling you, if you can overcome these obstacles, you will take better shots because your attention will stop being focused on things that don't matter and start focusing on the actual shots. That's why it's important to get your performance results. Right, so I like this spot, but we're going to keep moving for the next point. Oh, the sun is banging. Let me go this way. So while I'm looking for the next spot, I thought I'd mention a lot of YouTube videos and books, rightfully so, do talk a lot about techniques and concepts and how to improve your eye, which is good. But they forget to mention you're in the real world with real thoughts and feelings and emotions and you're dealing with actual real people. So why don't they start talking also about how to deal with these things? Because it's still a performance issue that you need to resolve when you're out there doing street. Let me give you an example of how this could manifest. Let's say you're going out for your photo walk. Your first hour, you might be a bit excited. You're like, yeah, that's cool. Let me try every single shot. And you're in flow state. And when you're in flow state, yeah, fuck it. Just stay in flow state. Don't think about anything else and do your shit. But as time goes on, your energy starts kind of declining a little bit. Like, you know, you may have walked a lot. You may have had a few awkward looks. People may have even said to you, like, what are you doing? Don't take my picture. And these things kind of like deflate your performance. And these things are, if you can flip them, you can actually just ignore it. But what most people do, and even I'm guilty of, is like I get a bit insecure and then I start going back into my shell and my day just gets like shitter and I'm thinking, what, let me just go home now. And this is something that could happen. And I'll show you a quick trick in your photo walk to maintain flow, by the way. So I believe there are kind of two kind of brains in your head when you're doing a photo walk. One is like an innocent, curious child, and the other is a grumpy old bastard. So when you first start your photo walk, or on good days, if you noticed it, your innocent, curious child always kind of wins. So it's like a battle between the two minds, and this child always wins because this is the child's voice that always says like, oh, go and try this shot, let's try this, let me see this. And it's more curious, it's open to suggestion. It's like, let me keep pushing this, let me see what else I can do. But then you've got the grumpy old man's voice, which kind of goes like something like, what am I doing here? Like, you know, I've already done this shot a million times. I can't be asked crossing the road. Oh, that guy or girl's gonna walk away by the time I get this. No point me even trying. So it's a battle between the two minds, and I believe which one is winning dictates the kind of day that you're gonna have. You can always flip it, but I want you to be aware that these voices are happening and don't let that grumpy bastard win. Let's go to a new scene. This looked quite cool, but we're gonna keep it moving. Just before I leave the scene, I wanted to add, I'm the kind of person that never gives up. I'm super fucking competitive. So I'll walk for fucking hours till I get that good shot. But then, you know, even me, that's when I realized like I'm just walking around hopelessly with a poor mindset, with a grumpy old bastard's voice telling me like, no, don't go for this shot, don't go for this shot. I'm missing shots. And I'm just like continuously walking and walking with a deluded mindset. So this could actually save you a lot of time, because if you just switch your mindset and flip your performance, attitude and energy, you probably could find a better shot a lot sooner. All right, let's find the next scene now. As I'm looking for the next scene, I just wanted to add, I think a lot of street photography industry doesn't talk about this aspect of things because they believe street photography is art. And of course, it's like a misconception that art should be effortless. It should be natural. You should be talented. And they they don't really talk about like, you know, the effort that you should put into this. If you look into the book of Carol Dweck called Mindset, she talks about this. There's like a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And basically the fixed mindset believes that their talent is innate and they shouldn't make any effort. So if they produce something amazing, it should come naturally, and they just don't want to be perceived as making effort. But the growth mindset is like effort trumps talent. As long as you put in the effort, you will always, you know, keep learning, keep growing, and nothing is impossible and everything can be learned is basically the concept. So therefore, shoot photography can be learned. Like even me, I never used to shoot as good as I started, and I keep improving, I keep working on it because I keep trying to get better. There are people out there that got good shots and think, okay, I'm not going to try anymore, and that's the fixed mindset. They're stuck on that level, whereas others, they, you know, like push through their comfort zone, try things they never did before. So of course, initially, their new kind of style is kind of shit, but then they keep at it and keep working, and they go beyond that person that's still shooting the exact same shit, exact same guy with the hat for like many years basically. Bear in mind, do not do any of these while you're in flow state. Do not fuck with flow state. Do these techniques when you've lost flow state and, you know, you're trying to rebuild it up. So the first technique is called self-calibration, and what this is basically you're just asking yourself questions where you're at. It's like a self-review, and I'll tell you how this actually works. Let's say I'm going out taking pictures, and the first few people I'm taking pictures of, they're reacting really poorly. They're looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing, kind of thing. So then I kind of pause and ask myself what's going on. I always look for responsibility in myself. So I'm thinking, what have I done? Was my energy too bad? Was I too aggressive in my manner? Was I getting too close? And therefore I kind of calibrate out of it. So it's like a safe, and you're trying to unlock the safe a little bit, and you're trying to unlock the safe to get your perfect energy. So then I think, okay, I was too aggressive, so let's dial it back a little bit. My energy may have been a bit shitty, so I dial it back even a bit more, and I try to like pump myself up and get more energy to go in. And so that's kind of how self-calibration works. You're just constantly asking this question. So another example is like, okay, my shots aren't great at the moment. What's going on? Like, what am I doing wrong? It's like that self-awareness. I'm asking myself now, okay, I can clearly see I'm not pushing my comfort zone. Like I'm shooting from a distance, and that's why my shots are not really happening. So for the next few shots, I'm just gonna try and push a little bit further. So as you can see, it's like a real life performance check that you're doing, rather than like wasting your day and then like the next day thinking like, shit, I should have gotten a lot closer and I just wasted that entire day. So this will make you even more efficient. So the second technique is basically put an alarm for like 30 minutes. And with that, after that 30 minutes goes, you kind of review how your performance went. Kind of similar to self-calibration, but self-calibration is in real life. And this is more like a feedback loop that you're trying to build. It's like you're self-coaching yourself in your actual day to get better. Imagine how sick that would be. And so when the timer goes off, again, it's a very similar concept. You just think to yourself like, how did I do? What could I improve in this session? Like, did I really push myself, and how are things going? And you kind of push yourself further, and you can see already like you're diving fucking deeper than that surface level bullshit that beginners always stay stuck on. The third one is actually a performance booster. It gives you it's like a shot of adrenaline just before your session starts, so that you set the tone. It's like in football, they say like you run in and slide the motherfucker straight away so that they know who you're about. So that's what this kind of is. The third one is basically as you start your session, just do the fucking hard thing straight away. Like what I do is like I get my camera while in the train in that high pressure environment, and I get close, try to capture people's faces so that I'm already, what's the word I'm looking for? 10. So that my head is already conditioned that this is okay for the day. So basically, imagine when I start my session, I'm like flying when doing hard things super early, and that's why my flow state early drags for longer than usual. And then once it dips, I use other techniques to get back. But this is like a little booster that you can use to do well. So those were 3 examples that you can actually implement in your street photography and improve your performance. And you can see there are much more levels to this, but I just wanted to make you aware that this exists so that you could shift from fucking beginner to intermediate. And once you go for intermediate to advanced, there are a lot more levels to this game. And I just want to finally say thank you for coming this far, and because you come this far, I'm going to give you one final like mega advice that would absolutely move you from beginner to intermediate. And I'm talking from experience here, and that is basically finding your why. As a beginner, you just kind of pick up and play, you're shooting for fun, but The moment I made a decision this proper, I want to do this good, and I found my fucking reason why. For me, it was to create a legacy, to make more impact. For you, it could be anything, but just make a decision. And once you make your decision that you want to get better and why you want to make it better, that's the final bridge that takes you across, and that's what will give you that fire and energy to keep pushing. And when you're in that level, what I've said to you will resonate. Thank you very much for listening. Follow for more if you like this. I'm on Instagram at SenseWorld. Follow me for more tips there too. Next time you go out, be aware of these voices that I mentioned and these performance tactics that I've told you. And if it works, let me know. And that's me out. I'm gonna shoot now, guys.